Yeah, what's your feeling on the AFL's decision that you guys will be wearing white?
Well, first we were surprised by the decision, and then as it sunk in, we got that information yesterday, and it wasn't really a negotiation. It was a courtesy call saying this is how it's going to be. And look, the disappointing thing from our point of view is that it's a home final. We've earned that right in our opinion, and we feel as if we should be wearing the traditional black Guernsey. I think our members and our fans and our players would expect that. It makes perfect sense to me that is how it would be, and because the AFL weren't able to foresee this issue or ensure that an appropriate clash Guernsey has been provided by Richmond, Port Adelaide has to bow down, and it's not something we particularly enjoy.
So you obviously haven't been given an explanation that you can accept, really?
Well, the explanation is pretty clear. The AFL is saying that the current clash Guernsey that Richmond have, which I think has got a broader yellow sash, isn't appropriate for a finals game. Now, I guess we would say that it's something that should have been seen earlier. I'm not 100% sure that that's right. I think we have played against Richmond in that away clash strip before, and didn't have any problems. So, look, we just think it's disappointing that the home final team is being disadvantaged by a situation that could have been avoided.
Is it difficult? Is it a difficult situation for you? You need to stand up for your club, but also you don't want to be seen harping about what might be a distraction of an issue. Yeah,
look, slightly. I think we can draw the line really clearly. The players, to be frank, are less worried about it than us, and they'll just get on with their business. But I think it's something for the future. I was watching the EPL the other night, and I watched Manchester United play Burnley, and they were in a blue Guernsey, because Burnley was the home side. It makes perfect sense, and it's $1 billion industry. You'd reckon that we could get those sort of things right, and that's really all we're asking.
We've now had the issue about the songs and that sort of thing. We've had Clash Guernsey. Does the AFL just need to look at, they can have the money and whatever, but just look at the home final as a home final, it's a home game?
Well, look, I think we're really pleased with the AFL position on our pre-game experience. They understood it for what it was. It's a great experience for our fans, and Gil's been really strong on the record this year about wanting to take the game back to the fans. We applaud that idea. It's what our whole game day experience has been about. This is a decision or a situation which doesn't do that. It actually has riled up our fans, and I understand that.
But neither of those should ever have been an issue, surely.
Well, I would say they're avoidable issues, and as I said, on the game day experience, the AFL made the right call, and we're going to have a fantastic event. And now on the Guernsey, I would say, look, don't misread how important these things are to members and our supporters. They're critically important, and we need to be standing behind them.
A few weeks ago, Richmond went over to West Coast, and a similar situation sort of unfolded. The West Coast had to wear their white strip. So the AFL's had a couple of weeks to sort of reflect on that.
Yes.
To see that Richmond were, a chance to make finals, and should something have been done early, given that we got the heads up on this exact situation three or so weeks ago?
Look, there's certainly some scenario planning that could have occurred, and I think it's a policy issue that's probably been sitting there for a number of years, where you've got to be strong. Port Adelaide would prefer not to be wearing its white Guernsey any week, but it has to, because we abide by the policy of the AFL. I don't think it's inappropriate for Richmond to have to wear a yellow Guernsey when they're away and clashing with the home side. I think that makes perfect sense. You can't have one rule for one group and another rule for another. And I think that the AFL based on this experience, needs to have a look at that and make it even. That's all we're asking.
Is it almost tempting to just, I guess, throw away your clash strip, as we've seen other clubs do? They haven't really taken this clash strip seriously. Sort of, Collingwood, Essendon, and now Richmond. They treat it as a bit of a joke. Like, is it tempting for you guys to just do away with your clash strip and we some half-assed approach to appease the AFL?
Well, that's an interesting point. Look, we would prefer to work within the confines of AFL policy. All we ask is that everyone else be asked to do the same, and we don't think there's anything unfair about that.
Say you don't underestimate these small sort of things. How furious do you think the Port members are going to be?
Well, look, our people are absolutely steamed up right now. They've got an issue. Look, we've got a really high demand game going on this weekend. It's fantastic. 2 massive clubs, big memberships, trying to get tickets at the moment. We sold 26,000 tickets in the first hour this morning. There's a lot of tension going on. And then they received notification that we're wearing the white Guernsey. It's an issue. And I've let Gil know that. I said that he needs not to underestimate how important these things are to the rank and file. And if we're going to take the game back to the fans, these are the sorts of issues that really get under their skin.
Was he apologetic?
Not yet. I don't know. I don't know. Gil's busy, and he's a long way away from here. But I'm sure at some stage today he'll become aware of what this decision means in Adelaide.
You said that it wasn't a negotiation. Is there a chance for negotiation?
I don't know.
So you haven't really heard much from head office?
No, what I've heard is you're wearing the white Guernsey. These are the reasons why. There's not much we can do. Now, I'd like him to explore it a little bit more.
You mentioned the ticketing situation before,
Yeah.
Keith. That obviously not all Port members are going to be able to get a ticket, it looks like, for this weekend's game.
It's
Is that
possible.
something that should be addressed, and that, the home side, that their members should get first call on all tickets to the road?
It's an interesting question. I don't know what the solution is, to be honest. But again, as an industry, we're interested in fairness. We're interested in doing the right thing by our members. And it appears to me that in this situation where there is massive demand, clearly 2 or 3 hours in, there's over demand for the supply. We need a more cohesive process. Now, we're as much to blame as anyone else, I guess. But Ticketek and the AFL and the clubs need to work very closely together to ensure that this process is as painless as possible. And I suspect that we'll get a lot of complaints later this afternoon about how difficult it's been. Now, some of that's unavoidable, but these are all things that go to the whole fan experience. And the great thing is it's going to be a huge game, and Adelaide Oval will be full. Richmond will be really well represented, as will Port Adelaide. But I think the process of getting to that game may not have been as clean as it could have been.
I mean, I can imagine there'll be, if I was a fan and I'd gone to every home, had a membership, went to every home game this year and then missed out on this weekend, I mean, there'd be...
People would be disappointed with that. We will get... We've supported everything you've done this year. We've been 10-year members. Why can't we go to our first Adelaide Oval final? I'm sure that's going to happen. The reality is that there probably will not be enough seats to go around, and that's unfortunate. It's a positive in one way, but it's a negative in another. But I reckon the process has to be squeaky clean and fair, and I'm not sure just now whether we've got that exactly right.